Welcome to the An English Coffee Office. Today is Thursday, October 9, and like every morning, David and Alex are at the coffee machine.
Hey Alex, good morning. How's that coffee hitting the spot today?
Morning, David. It's doing the trick, keeping me sharp for the morning meetings. What about yours?
Mine's strong enough to power through sales pitches. Black, no frills, you know how it is?
I do. Anyway, did you see the headlines this week? The government shutdown is dragging on.
Oh yeah, it's into its 6th day now. Congress just couldn't get their act together on funding.
Right? From what I read in the New York Times, it's the first full shutdown in 6 years. Furloughs everywhere.
Exactly. Hundreds of thousands of federal workers without paychecks. And services? National parks closed, some benefits delayed.
It's chaotic. The Washington Post mentioned how it's rippling through agencies. No new data releases, which messes with economic reports.
Tell me about it. In sales, I rely on that fresh data for client pitches. Now everything's stalled.
For project management, it's a nightmare. Timelines depend on government approval sometimes. One delay cascades.
Cascades like a bad waterfall chart in a presentation? Remember that client last quarter? We waited weeks for permits.
I do. This could be worse. With the shutdown funding lapse, even essential services are hit.
Yeah, and Trump threatening layoffs if Democrats don't budge. Politics at its finest or worst.
It's frustrating. Highlights how one partisan standoff affects real people. Over 70 million on Social Security waiting on that cost of living adjustment.
Wait, the 2.5% bump for 2025? That's coming, but delayed by this mess?
Possibly. CNN said it's based on inflation cooling to 2.4%. Modest raise, but vital for retirees.
Modest is right. With living costs up, it's like a Band-Aid on a bigger wound. Our team's budgets feel that pinch too.
True. It makes you think about economic stability. One shutdown and confidence dips.
Dips like my coffee level here. Need a refill? Anyway, enough doom and gloom? Switching to something brighter tech news?
Sure, pour me one too. What's on your mind?
OpenAI new parental controls for ChatGPT. Saw it in the Wall Street Journal. Finally, some guardrails.
Yeah, they launched it to let parents set limits on teen accounts. Time restrictions, content filters.
Smart. With kids using AI for homework, you don't want it spitting out inappropriate stuff.
The New York Times covered how it notifies parents if it detects self-harm risks. Proactive safety.
Good call. In our office, we use ChatGPT for brainstorming reports. Imagine without filters, total chaos.
Exactly. As a project manager, I see AI as a tool, but controls ensure it's used responsibly. No biases sneaking in.
Biases? Like that time it suggested a sales strategy that sounded too aggressive. We dialed it back.
Happened to me too. These features could standardize ethical AI in businesses. Less liability.
Liability is my middle name in sales. Clients ask about data privacy all the time now.
And with the shutdown delaying tech regs, companies like OpenAI are stepping up voluntarily.
True. Makes me wonder if we'll integrate something similar for team collaborations.
It could boost productivity. Safer AI means faster adoption without the headaches.
Headaches like debugging code at midnight. Speaking of culture, have you heard about that violin exhibit?
The Stradivarius at the Museum of Fine Arts? Yeah, it's making waves.
From the Boston Globe, right? This 300-year-old instrument's worth $11 million on display.
It is. Played at the opening of Symphony Hall 125 years ago. Historic piece.
Historic and pricey. Can you imagine? One violin costing more than our annual office budget.
Probably. It's a rare survivor from Stradivari's workshop. The craftsmanship is unreal.
Craftsmanship like our dev team building apps? But this thing's been around since the 1700s.
And now it's public for the first time in decades. The MFA pulled it from storage for this exhibit.
Storage? Like that old server room we cleaned out last year? Full of forgotten gems?
Similar idea. Art like this connects us to history. Reminds me why we preserve project archives.
Archives for wins, yeah. 11 million? I'd buy a yacht or fund a sales retreat.
Or invest in team morale. Imagine a company concert with something like that.
Now, that's an idea. Boost creativity, our meetings could use some melody instead of memos.
Subtle humor there. Culturally, it's a big deal for Boston. Draws tourists, sparks interest in classical music.
Tourists mean more foot traffic downtown. Good for local businesses like that cafe we hit after work.
True. Society-wise, exhibits like this make culture accessible, not just for elites.
Elites with 11 million to spare. Anyway, tying back to global stuff, what about Japan?
Their first female prime minister? Newsday had a piece on it.
Yeah, Sani Takachi elected leader of the ruling party. Historic for them after 140 years.
It is. She's pushing for defense boosts and economic reforms. Could shift Asia's dynamics.
In sales, that means watching trade policies closely. Japan's a key market for us.
As project manager, I see potential in tech collaborations. Her focus on AI sovereignty aligns with trends.
Sovereignty, like keeping data local, we deal with that in international deals.
Exactly. It might stabilize supply chains, especially post-shutdown vibes here.
Post-shutdown, yeah? If she cuts taxes or boosts payouts, it could juice their economy.
And ours indirectly. More stable partners mean smoother projects.
Fingers crossed. No more curveballs like the funding fights.
Agreed. These news stories show how interconnected everything is. Politics, tech, culture.
Interconnected like our coffee breaks. Keeps the day interesting.
It does, but now with the machine empty, time to refuel on work.
Yeah. Got a client call in 10. This chat was a good warm-up.
Same here. Project update meeting awaits. Catch you later, David.
Later, Alex. Have a productive one.
Time to get to work. Don't forget to subscribe and practice your English every day. You'll see how it just keeps getting better and better. See you tomorrow. Hope you have a fantastic day.